All right, guys, this is our final bracket breakdown here on Ballin in the Booth. This is Division Four Select Quarterfinals, and we might spend some time on this playoff bracket because there are some really good matches, 1 through 4. I know, like you gotta be kidding me, but like, hey, it's fourth quarter, guys. We got
Yeah.
a strong right here as the last bracket we're going through. But we're joined by Alex Allison, Daryl Felker, and Grant Sachere as well of Crescent City Sports and Rigorous Sports Media. We'll give an opportunity for Grant as well to promote what he's got going on at Crescent City and Rigorous Sports Media as well. Of course, his show Friday nights on the Bayou. So let's go and talk about a very exciting Division Four Select Playoff bracket. So Vermilion Catholic able to get through Westminster Christian. Of course, John D'Artes doing John D'Artes things again. I mean, 6 touchdowns, 4 rushing, 2 through the air. Also returns some kicks as well. He's just a one-man wrecking crew. Is Jonathan D'Artes. And speaking of wrecking crew, how about St. Emma and what they're able to do against St. Martin's Episcopal, 78-37. And Harlem Berry, his last game for St. Martin's before he goes and plays the purple and gold. Great high school career for Harlem Berry, and has done an awesome job for the program as well. But they ran into a chainsaw that night in St. Edmunds. Over 700 yards of offense and 78 points for the Blue Jays. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, expect the over when the Vermilion Catholic and St. Edmunds a lot of points on the scoreboard. Also, we have Kentwood taking on Southern Lab. So 12 versus 13, but both these programs have won a lot of state championships between the two. Remember, Southern Lab defeated Kentwood earlier this year in a low scoring affair, 13-8. Now they get a chance to play each other again as Kentwood gets a 42-16 win over Episcopal, and Southern Lab gets a 24-7 win over St. Frederick. On the bomb side of the bracket, Covenant Christian's perfect season continues as well as they take on Washita Christian. They defeated Central Catholic for the second time this year, both times in a commanding fashion, 41-13. But probably have the toughest task of to date with Washita Christian. This is a program that's won a lot of state championships under Stephen Fitzhugh. Daryl was at this game, so we get a chance to talk a little bit more about it. For Washita Christian, able to take care of business on the road like a state championship caliber team would, 28-6 over Catholic Point Capee. So it'll be Covenant Christian against Washita Christian at Nichols State's campus. And then finally, if you like running backs, we have the matchup for you because it's Dedrick Lasty against Chad Elsie, another Gridiron Football All-American Bowl game commit, and Dedrick Lasty, a former Gridiron Football Player of the Week. So this would be a good one. Riverside Academy coming off a 49-6 win over Hamilton Christian. And meanwhile, Chad Elsie, it was a sluggish day in the office, right? 200 yards, 3 touchdowns on 11 carries for Chad Elsie against Opelousas Capital. It wasn't 9 touchdowns, but still, his Bulldogs able to take care of business. So if you like,
Clearly, he's washed.
right. Riverside Academy and Ascension Catholic. So that will be a heck of a playoff game. So you got Ascension Catholic, Riverside Academy, Covenant Christian against Washita Christian, Kentwood versus Southern Lab, and Vermilion Catholic and St. Emma. There are no snooze fests, I can guarantee you, in any of those 4 matchups there. So let's break it down, guys. Like I said, it could be a lot of points. It probably will come down to whatever defense can get a stop in this football game against Vermilion Catholic and St. Emma. Now, Grant, 2 really good quarterbacks. They do a lot for their football teams. When we talk about Kane West or St. Edmund, talk about Jonathan D'Artes for Vermilion Catholic, are both unselfish football players leading 2 explosive offenses. Should be a lot of points from the scoreboard. Vermilion Catholic, the #1 seed, trying to get to the state championship. The one thing John D'Artes has accomplished in his prolific high school career is a state championship. Can he take another step in getting that done? Will St. Emily, who's been having an incredible season, get the upset here? Because we know how many points their offense can definitely score.
This would be a high score affair. Definitely take the over with this one. Which I mean, you can say that about a lot of the matchups in this bracket. I'm gonna have to pick Vermilion Catholic to win this game. I think that Vermilion Catholics on a mission. They've handled business. I mean, they're and every single game that has tested Vermilion Catholic, they've won by double digits. They've won a lot of these big games. I think St. Edmund, they've had a fantastic season. However, the defense has been suspect at times because like they play other offenses that also are really explosive. But it's Vermilion Catholic. This is the third, well, I believe the third or fourth straight quarterfinals appearance. I'm not sure how many it goes back, but they've been in quarterfinals in every single year that John Tartas has been there. Um, so I'm gonna have to pick the Screaming Eagles to win this one and advance to the semifinals. I expected them to go that. I expected them to be the state champion. Uh, but so I got Vermilion Catholic to win that game, and I think they will square up against. Actually, let me pull it up right here. Actually, I had going the far wrong bracket. What I have? Oh, I had them going up against Southern Lab. So I had them going up against Southern Lab in the semifinals, and that doesn't change my mind.
Yeah, I got Vermilion Catholic here. Now, St. Edmund can definitely make this interesting. They can make it entertaining because their offense is really good. Not only they can run the ball with Henry Summerlin, but they can throw the football too. Blake Moran, receiver, Seth O'Quinn as well. The wide receiver Kane West can throw the deep ball when they need to. So they're a dangerous offense. But Vermilion Catholic for me, man. I mean, Jonathan Dartez, he's a winner. I mean, not the biggest guy. I mean, not the most athletic guy. He's athletic, but not the freakish athlete everybody comes to see. But he's just a winner. He's a gamer. He's a game changer, and he's going to will his way to his team for a win. So I like Vermilion Catholic. It's going to be a high scoring game. I trust that Vermilion Catholic gets that defensive stop needed to get this win. So I'm going to go with the Screaming Eagles here, and they've been used to having some deep playoff runs as well. So. Daryl, I know you've actually got to see Vermilion Catholic play here. So, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I have Vermilion Catholic going all the way to the dome and actually being the state champion. But I will say St. Edmund's performance against St. Martin's really kind of opened my eyes to how great they can be on offense. 700 yards is not, it's not something you see every week. And I mean, St. Martin's defense hasn't been the best over the course of the season, but I mean, it's still 70 plus points and 700 yards is something you can't look past. But I saw it in Vermilion Catholic and Riverside's game. I mean, Riverside has a really high power offense, but in the beginning of the game, they were able to force one or two stops, and that was all Jonathan Dartez needed. He just kept scoring, and they ended up winning 49-35, if I'm not mistaken. And, Riverside got it figured out eventually, and they were scoring and scoring. They just couldn't catch up. And I can kind of see this game going the same way. As you said, if Vermilion Catholic gets that one stop, maybe even 2-3 stops, this is their game. And yeah, I don't see them. I don't see this being the game where they lose.
All right. What about you, Alex? You're pretty familiar with these teams as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. Daryl and I can combine our knowledge to get like one really good take on this game because I think Daryl's really familiar with this Vermilion Catholic team, and I think he's had a really good beat on them this year. And I feel really familiar with the St. Edmund team.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a really good beat on them this year. I I think Vermilion Catholic's going to win pretty comfortably. I think St. Edmund's a really good team. Actually, the result didn't shock me that much. The way the St. Martin's game went, I thought St. Edmund had a chance to win the game by a decent margin, and they were going to run the ball a lot, get a bunch of yards of total offense, and that's what happened. I watched St. Martin's get ripped to shreds on defense by Riverside. They got ripped to shreds on defense by St. Edmund. Vermilion Catholic's a very different beast on defense, and they're going to allow points. Obviously, they allow points at Riverside. They'll allow points at St. Edmund, but this is a lot like the. I think this will be kind of like the great value version of that Catholic Zachary game a couple weeks ago, Um, where DeVecchio Ruffin ran for like 1 billion yards and Jaden Miles ran for like 1 billion yards and Catholic won the game like 73-56 or whatever. It's going to be like 55-40. I actually think the margin's going to be a little bit wider than that. Not like a decimation, not like running clock kind of, but like I think it'll be like a 20-point win.
They can
I think yeah, I think Vermilion Catholic. If you want me to give a score prediction, I'll say 63-42.
Okay.
Something along those lines, where Vermilion Catholic scores on maybe every possession because they have the capacity to do that. And St. Edmund, like I think Gerald hit the nail on the head. I think it'll look a lot like that Riverside game, where St. Edmund, will figure it out on offense. They will put up points, but they're not. It's going to turn into a track meet, a team track meet, unlike the track meet we'll see in the Riverside Ascension Catholic game, where it's going to be a player track meet with Lasty and Elsie. This is going to be a team track meet where the offensive lines get a bunch of movement. These both way players are going to get real tired having to play offense and defense, and you're going to see a bunch of touchdowns from the quarterbacks, the running backs, the wide receivers, everybody throwing and running the ball. And Vermilion Catholic's going to open up a 17-7 lead, a 24-7 lead, and then you're not going to see another punt for the rest of the game. And it's just going to be touchdown, 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 touchdown. And then you'll have a final score where Vermilion Catholic comfortably was winning the game the whole time, but they gave up 40 points. And we're gonna get something. I think that's gonna look a lot like that, where Vermilion Catholic's gonna win somewhat handily, but it's gonna be really high scoring and probably pretty fun to watch.
Oh yeah, expect a lot of points in this one between the Screaming Eagles and the Blue Jays. So between two different birds. There we go. So we'll go to the second matchup. I mean, a lot of offensive scoring high. That is for sure. That first matchup. A lot of state championships combined between the matchup. 17 state championships between both these teams. I believe we have. Let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 9 for Kentwood. We have 8 for Southern Lab. So a lot of state championships between the two. And of course, despite their seeds, they'll be meeting each other again. Southern Lab, actually the defending state champions, have won 2 of the last 3 years. Kentwood with a new coach and Cornelius Blunt, but he's been with the program with Coach Foster the last couple of years as well as the offensive coordinator. So he definitely knows this team already for sure. First year as the head football coach, but doing a great job. And under the water tower, the last time it was on the bluff at Southern Lab in Southern Stadium. Southern able to get the win 13-8. Now it's under the water tower, another tough place to play at Kentwood. So Grant, I'm gonna go with you first. You're going to roll with the defending state champions, or you're going to roll with the Kangaroos?
I'm going to stick with my pick and roll with the defending champions. This will be a very close game between the two squads. I mean, this is, the fact that we get one of the biggest rivalries in Louisiana to play each other in the quarterfinals is awesome. I think that's why it makes this bracket stand out compared to some others. Of course, Kentwood is 8-3 going in this game. Their 3 losses were against Jules Sumner, A Meet, and Southern Lab. And matter of fact, that Southern Lab game, Southern Lab won 13-8. The last 2 meetings between these 2 programs have been really close. So I think it's gonna be another close one. It is very hard to beat a really good team twice in one season, but the common theme has been so that those teams that won the regular season also won the postseason. But Southern Lab, I expect them to win this one and Kentwood, although it'll be very, very close.
Yeah.
Good stick my pick. Southern Lab going to the semifinals.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with you as well. This team is very confident. I know they've lost some pieces on last year's state championship team, but they've been around it, and they realize they can do something that's pretty tough to do. That's not only go back to back, but win 3 of 4 state championships the last 4 years. So a big opportunity for Southern Lab. It's not going to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. But now they're going to have to go on the road to Kentwood to do so. Kentwood athletically, that's why they've been such a great rivalry, because they can match each other athletically. Both teams have a lot of speed, a lot of athleticism between the two, and it's going to be shown out on the football field. It's going to be really close. It's going to come down to a play or two. But I'm going to lean with Jerry Botley. I'm going to lean with Southern Lab to make some of those plays. It's going to come down to 1-2 plays And I think Sun Lab, with their experience in the state championships more recently than Kentwood. Kentwood's made some state championships pretty recently as well, but more recently with this team, this year's team, is Southern Lab. So I think it'll make that one or two plays extra that's going to give them that advantage. So I got Southern Lab in a hostile environment, a tough place to win at Kentwood, and I think the Kittens are going to find a way to do just that. Alex, who do you have out of Kentwood and Southern
What
Lab?
what a mascot matchup! The kittens and the kangaroos.
Kangaroo.
The games at Kentwood, I think that'll matter, especially for like a big rivalry game like this, where it's going to be a really hostile environment. Southern Lab already beat Kentwood once this season in a really close game. That'll matter. I do think in the realm of talking about like playoff rematches and the previous victor winning a bunch, I do think it's important to recognize LCA losing to Notre Dame earlier in the season and then winning in the rematch. So it isn't a perfect record.
Yeah.
I think that is important to keep in mind. I go back and forth with this game. I think both these teams are really good. I feel a little bit more familiar with Southern Lab. I'm going to pick them just narrowly. I feel bad because I think we might go 4-0 here. Southern Lab Kentwood, but I don't think that represents the how confident we feel about this game.
Yeah, both programs went to our media day.
They're really good. These are two really, really good football teams, really good football programs. It's a 50-50 coin flip, but I'll take Southern Lab by a very narrow margin.
Yep. What about you, Daryl? I mean, I know we all have Southern Lab close. Do you have Kentwood overcoming that?
I think this game, as you guys said, is going to be a really close game. It's going to be an interesting game because the last one was at Southern Lab. This one's at Kentwood. As you said, they lost a really close game during the regular season. They have that in the back of their minds. Southern Lab has that in the back of their minds. And, I mean, it's a rivalry game. I interviewed one of the Southern Lab players earlier in the season. I was like, what's the game you're looking forward to this season? He immediately said, the Kentwood game. That's our game. I mean, they look forward to this game, and I know when they saw that Kentwood won last week and they saw that they had to play them again on the road, it might have started things up a little bit. But I'm going to roll with Southern Lab on the road. I think they'll find a way to pull it out, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Kentwood won. I think this is going to be a really good game.
Well, I think it will be as well between the Kangaroos and the Kittens. And the other team that's won a state championship, we talked about 2 of the last 3 years for Southern Lab. The other team that won in between is Washita Christian. They've obviously won a lot of state championships as well under Stephen Fitzhugh. You look at the number as well. He has won 8 state championships of the 9 as the head coach at Washita Christian. So he's won a lot of state championships. He's a Hall of Fame coach. They went on the road in defeated Catholic Point Capee. And now they want to take on Covenant Christian. It's been a great team, a great story this year. They got a lot of studs. Jesse Turner's doing an awesome job with that program. But, Grant, you can say toughest challenge they have of the year against this Washita Christian team. That's deceivingly 11 seed. I don't know how they're that low either. But with only one loss this season. So who you're going with here, Grant? I know Covenant Christian's been a great team all season long, but Washita Christian, with all those state championships, they know what it's like to win this time of year.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the issues I've had with the scene recently. I mean, I know it's because of the power ratings, but we've had Cecilia as the number 18 seed, and they went on the road and upset Lutcher, but Cecilia is better than the 18 seed. I mean, the list goes on. Opelousas being the 14th seed. I mean, there's just a lot of different examples.
About 12 and 13, Sunlam and Kentwood.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly. So, I mean, it's just kind of one of those things. And especially considering the fact that Kentwood and Southern Lab, a lot of their games, the games that they were playing up. Southern Lab, one of their games they lost was against Denton Springs, who's a 5A opponent. But somehow they're lower than, some teams that teams that really didn't play anybody. But I think with Covenant Christian, they're a very good team. I know they actually had a decent schedule. I mean, they beat one of the top 1A schools in the state, and they beat them by double digits. They defeated Central Catholic twice.
Yep.
And Central Catholic is a pretty decent squad. Although this would be the toughest task to date because we're playing against a Washington Christian team that usually be a top 4 seed. any other year, but because of Washita's strength of schedule, Washita Christian was an 11th seed. Although, I mean, which I disagree with because they're 9-1.
Yeah.
I mean, they're better than probably like 20 of the other teams in this bracket. To me, they're a top 4 seed, but they're the 11th seed for some reason, which I disagree with. I expect Washington Christian to go to the state championship, which means that I expect them to win this game against Covenant Christian. But I think Covenant Christian will keep this game interesting. Covenant Christian has a lot of talent. Of course, you got to talk about Jahari Carter. The Carter brothers are really good at out wide. Connor Lally is a really good quarterback. Tross Clare, the quarterback, is a very good quarterback as well. He's been deadly through the air. This is a very good Covenant Christian team that I think some people are sleeping on because they may not have the name like Washington Christian or Kentwood or Southern Lab. But this is a very good Covenant Christian team. I think they'll make it interesting, but I do think Washington Christian will get the big win on the road in the River Parishes.
I agree, and with you, Grant. I mean, I think Covenant Christian even has more talent than Washita Christian, but I think
You
Washita.
make that point. It's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, but Washita Christian, I think it's just more battle tested in these late in the playoffs. And we go to November, December. There's a reason why Stephen Fish's won all those state championships, and these guys have been in the program a long time, whether it's on the team or they've grown up watching it. So they've always been around the team. So it's a great program. They went on the road. I'm sure I'm gonna go to Daryl next and talk about it as well because he was there. But they got a lot of really good players on both sides of the football. They went into a tough place to play at New Roads, the Catholic Point Cape. I saw that place rocking when they defeated St. Edmunds earlier this year. But it's a tough place to play. And they went over there and handled business. It put the crowd completely out the football game. So this is a great team, great program. This a team that's won state championships before. So I like Covenant Christian's team. Jesse Turner's done an awesome job. But I'm going to go with Washita Christian being that battle tested, being that veteran type of program that's been there, done that. So, Daryl, you're at that Washita Christian game. Talk a little bit about that game and what you see in this matchup between them and Covenant Christian.
Yeah, I mean, you see the score 28-6. The outcome was very surprising. It's not what I expected at all. I did expect them to keep it close and even pull out the victory, but the score doesn't really tell the full story of the game, and it kind of makes me question a few things because Ouachita Christian, they turned the ball over multiple times, and Catholic Point Capee, they turned the ball over on downs on 4th and goal, down basically in the end zone almost 2 or 3 times. And it's like they were a few plays away from this being a lot closer of a game. And I'm not sure. I haven't seen Covenant Christian, so I can't really vouch for them as much as I would want to. But that last game, it made me a little iffy on Ouachita Christian, and I know they have the history, and they won. They even beat Vermilion Catholic in their state championship 2 years ago. So I mean, they have the history. They know how to win these games. They can win this game. But just from what I saw last week, I think that if Covenant Christian plays a good game and their offense is able to capitalize and just finish drives and generate a few turnovers the same way that Catholic Point Capee did, I think that Covenant Christian will be able to come out on top. And I mean, it's tough for me to say because I just saw Ouachita Christian win 28-6.
Yeah.
And on the road, I mean, they were dominant. But there were a few moments in the game where this game could have been completely different. And I think if Covenant Christian is able to just execute, and I think they have a good shot to win this game.
Okay, that's an interesting perspective there for Daryl. Are you going to call your shot? You think Covenant's going to win this game?
Yeah, I'm going to roll with Covenant. I might be biting my tongue next week when we come back, but I'm going to roll with Covenant.
Okay, all right, I got you. You saw Walsall Christian in person this year, so that's something you got on us as well. Alex, what do you think about Daryl's take, or you have Walsall Christian?
So I'm a lot less familiar with these two teams, admittedly. What I'll say is that I thought I was going to be the bold one saying what I'm about to say.
Mhm.
I'll take CCA to win the game. It's I think being battle tested matters. It matters a lot, and we've seen that a lot throughout this bracket already. You
Mhm.
know, almost no better example than Kentwood and Southern Lab last
Yeah.
week in two games where they were the underdogs, quote
Yeah.
unquote. Um, but not just won, but really handled their
Mhm.
competition. Uh, and part of the reason a lot of people saw that coming was because they were more battle tested,
Yep.
not just this season, but in the past. But it's not a 100% rule. It's not like a team can't come out of nowhere without experience and surprise people. And I think the CCA team is a team to be taken seriously. Washington Christian's really good, but I think CCA is real. And I think they can really do some stuff here. It's a really good defense. It might be a better team, which is usually not how you think about these sort of matchups. I think it's just a little bit of a different situation than your normal battle tested versus not battle tested team, because Jay said it earlier, the talent advantage might be in CCA's favor. That doesn't feel right, right? That doesn't feel normal. And CCA is undefeated. They have played some good teams. They have handled some good teams, and that I think this is just a little bit of a different situation. Not with a lot of confidence. Again, I'm not super familiar with the teams themselves, the intricate details of the matchup, but I think CCA is going to go ahead and win the game, pretty surprising to a lot of people, and make the semifinals.
All right, so we're still on that one. 50-50 down the road between Covenant Christian and Washita Christian. And then our final matchup, man, this should be an exciting one to cover between
Yeah,
Side Academy and Ascension Catholic. You like running back, man, Chad LZ, Belgian Lassie. They're going to be running a whole lot throughout this football game as well. And this is going to be a really good matchup here, Grant. I mean, Riverside Academy, they were in the dome last year. That's another team that can definitely make a run again to the dome. And look at Ascension Catholic. Well, Northeast has stepped in, has done a great job. Uh, Chad Elzy, we talk about him a whole lot, but it's not just Chad Elzy. They got a really good football team as well around them too. So both teams do behind both running backs. But who do you think has the edge in this one? What should be a pretty up and down football game between both those teams.
I mean, yeah, these are two really good programs right here. Such a Catholic Riverside Academy. Um, definitely take it over in this game, of course.
Yeah,
Chad
no,
Elsey.
yeah,
Chad Ellis is a great running back, but they also have they also have an awesome defense. They got an awesome front seven. They got an awesome secondary. I mean, just the whole defense is really good. And really, you can also can't sleep on their passing game as well.
Camille
Um,
Love.
Camille LaBeouf, I mean, yeah, like you said, his dad's Troy. I mean, so he comes from a
Yeah.
football background. And he's a really smart player and makes all the right throws. They also have a very good receiving core as well.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Riverside Academy. I know a lot of people, a lot of people are keen in a District Lassie, but
Yeah.
they have, but Brock Bourgeois is an awesome quarterback.
Yeah.
They also have an awesome wide receiver, Kendrick Johnson, who also can take the snaps as a Wildcat quarterback, who is very effective. They have their line of scrimmage is awesome on both sides of the ball, offensive line and defensive line, and they're a very physical football team. This is a River Parishes, your typical River Parishes football team. They may not be the biggest, but they're very physical and they're going to come and hit you. So, this game can go either way. I have Riverside win this game. I
Mm-hmm.
can have Riverside go into the semifinals, but this game could go either way, Jace. It really can.
Yeah, I'm with you, Grant. I have actually Riverside Academy going to the dome. I really like this Riverside Academy football team, just because what you said. Not only Dedrick Lassie can make an impact in the run game, but they can throw the football. It's not just Dedrick Lassie. Brock Bourgeois is a good quarterback. We talked about Boogie Johnson, Kendrick Johnson. He's a Swiss Army knife. He can run the Wildcat. He can catch. He's only a ninth grader as well. He's going to be a really good football player when Dedrick leaves. They can throw, they can run it. They're explosive on offense. I mean, they might have the most balance. When you think about it, maybe the most balanced offense in this bracket. And I know there's going to be an offensive bracket where you're going to have to score a lot of points. So with that being said, I got Riverside Academy, but to be honest with you, if Ascension Catholic wins, I think the winner of this game goes to the Dome. I mean, I think this is a huge game between both these two teams, and Chad Ellis is going to definitely get his. It's going to be a lot of points, going to be an exciting football game to watch. I'm going to go with the Rebels. I know they fell short to a state championship last year, and they won't get back this year as well. So I'm going to go with Riverside Academy here. Daryl, I know you saw Vermilion and Riverside Academy. That's actually the game rematch I have in the Dome. So you saw them play, and actually Alex did too. You saw a Riverside play as well. I'm gonna go with you first. 'Cause you saw them on the losing end of things. What do you think about Riverside Academy? And I know you got the same chance to see Chad Elsie as well for a little bit. So what do you think about this matchup overall?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a great game for fans. If you love just running backs, this is the game to go to. And I mean, it's tough because Chad Elsie is Chad Elsie. I mean, it feels like, especially in the playoffs, this is where he comes out and comes alive. But I saw it in the Riverside and Vermilion Catholic game. I touched on it a little bit earlier, but Vermilion got out to a very quick start, and that's why Riverside lost the game. It wasn't that Riverside couldn't produce on offense. They just got in a hole in the first quarter and were never able to climb out of it. I think that this game comes down to Riverside's defense. If they're able to bottle up Chad Elsie just for even a few possessions and just get out, just jump out ahead and not get left behind, not go down 14, 21 points, I think this is Riverside's game. But if Chad Elsie just runs and if Ascension Catholic gets out to a quick start, I don't think that Riverside is going to be able to come back. But it's yeah, like I said, Riverside's offense, they're going to be up. They're talented all around. I mean, you guys named the endless players that they have on offense, but yeah, it's going to come down to their defense and are they able to stop Chad Elsie? But I will roll with Riverside. I have faith that their defense will be able to get a stop and win this game.
All right, so we all have Riverside now. Alex, you've seen both these two teams as well. You've seen Ascension Catholic play. You've seen Riverside play. In fact, you were there for that exciting back and forth matchup between Dedrick Lasty and Harlem Berry too. So you got to see Dedrick up and close and personal. What are your thoughts on these two games, knowing that you've seen both these two running backs that playing at a high level before?
I'm about to say what might be this. It might age to be the single dumbest thing anybody has said in the entire show of these 3 weeks. So if this blows up in my face, it blows up in my face. I'm very well aware that might happen. I think this game might be a lot lower scoring than we're expecting. So
okay.
Because I think we're looping this in, and especially with the visions of Chad Elsie and of Dedrick Lasty, and they're understandable because these dudes are awesome. We're looping this into the St. Martin, St. Edmund, or St. Edmund Vermilion Catholic games where you're like these two offenses are unstoppable, these two defenses can't get stops, all of that sort of stuff. I don't know if Riverside really falls into that category. Like they couldn't stop Vermilion Catholic, but Vermilion Catholic is Vermilion Catholic, and Riverside's defense, I watched him play Harlem Berry, and the only reason the St. Martin scored any points in that game was because Harlem Berry is like the best running back on the planet in high school football.
Yeah.
There's the only reason. I think I have a lot of respect for Riverside's defense. I have some, and you're more familiar with Ascension Catholic's offense than I am, but my take from watching the Jamboree was that I have some questions about their offensive line, and I have some questions about them in the trenches. And I wonder if this game might be not like this isn't going to be like a 3-0, single digit scoring game, but I wonder if it maybe is played in the 20s instead of like the 30s or 40s that we're expecting. I think it'll be very close. I was the person that took Ascension Catholic to go to the Dome and face Vermilion Catholic at the beginning of the year. Not the beginning of the year. Good Lord, at the beginning of the brackets. unlike a lot of the other things I said, I actually have changed my mind on this. That there are parts of this matchup in particular that worry me for Ascension Catholic. I think it's a little bit of a worrisome matchup. Like I don't know if Riverside's the better team, but just how the two teams like mesh specifically. I am going to take Riverside alongside everybody else, which feels rough because it just doesn't feel right because Ascension Catholic's a really good football team.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a really close game. I think it might be lower scoring than we're expecting, a little bit lower scoring than we're expecting, and I will take Riverside to win alongside everybody else.
So Troy LaBeouf, this is your chance. Record this, snip this, and make sure to send it to Ascension Catholic because this is your chance again. He's done it on Grant's show. I think he's going to do it on this show as well. A chance to motivate Ascension Catholic. I'm kind of shocked we all went with Riverside. But yeah, that's gonna be a great game as well, guys. So that's our bracket. One more time, here are your 4 matchups, and probably what is from top to bottom the best bracket so far in terms of matchups and quarterfinal pairings. Ascension Catholic takes on Riverside Academy. Coming Christian will take on Washita Christian. Kentwood will take on Southern Lab. And Vermilion Catholic will take on St. Edmund. Before we go, Grant, another chance for you to promote River Sports Media, Friday Nights in the Bayou, and Crescent City Sports. What's going on? What's kind of the plan for the rest of the week in this playoff coverage?
Of course, I'm gonna be writing a whole lot about not only LSU. I already got some stuff pre-written about LSU, so that's good. But for high school stuff, I got a lot of things that are planning on releasing. Of course, it's quarterfinal week, it's Thanksgiving week, so got a lot of time on my hands. So that'll be a good thing. And also, happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Yep.
I just want to say that first and foremost before I get to all my other stuff. But yeah, make sure to follow me on Twitter. That's Asher Grant as well. I also just joined Blue Sky as well, which is apparently a thing that everyone's joining now. But I'm also on Blue Sky. If anyone wants to follow me there, I'll post my updates on anything going on over there as well. Also, make sure to follow Ruger Sports Media on all 3 social media all 3 social media apps, the big ones, and then also make sure to subscribe to Ruger Sports Media on YouTube, which is where me and Jace every week will have our Friday Nights in the Bayou show. I don't know how we're gonna do it this week because I know Jace, you may be going to Shreveport to cover the Episcopal.
Anything might be a callback or something. I don't know how we'll do it.
Yeah, so I mean, if the worst case scenario, I don't know. Either I might go live with somebody else, or if I can figure that out, or we're just going to have to do like a live show on like Sunday or Sunday or
next
Monday,
day,
whatever.
Sunday or something. Probably
Yeah.
Sunday if I would go on. If I went
Yeah.
to Shreveport, but that's still kind of up in the air.
Right, exactly. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that, but people will announce something soon. But yeah, we're gonna have Friday Nights in the Bayou. We're gonna have our preview show sometime this week. We're also gonna have our nightcap show. Where you can either on Friday or we might have it on Sunday. I haven't worked everything out yet, just because of Jason's situation. But that's kind of the latest. So also make sure to go on CrestCitySports.com for all the latest and prep sports around the state.
I appreciate it, Grant. Make sure to go to our website as well, gridironfootballusa.com. We got plenty of stuff. The bowl game's coming up, so we're actually going to put hotel information as well. So if you're coming away from the Baton Rouge area, supporting at one of these young men that will be playing a Gridiron Football American Bowl game, for example, let's say for Bunkie, Louisiana, you need to find a hotel. We got some hotel listings as well on our bowl game commitment articles too. And that way you can check out all the Gridiron Football American Bowl game commits too. That will be announced daily. So we'll get more of those as we get them. So appreciate Grant for coming on. Also appreciate Alex and Daryl for coming on as well. Make sure to check out their work at gridironfootballusa.com. Happy Turkey Week, guys. Hopefully everybody has a great Thanksgiving week. Enjoy the football. Enjoy all the stuffing and the turkey and all of that. And then we'll get to playoff football this week and next week. We'll go back, and guys, we're going to be talking about some semifinal action for a chance to go to the Dome next week. So thank y'all, guys, and make sure to subscribe to our channel. Go to GridironFootballUSA.com. We'll see y'all next time with another playoff bracket edition of high school football here on Ballin the Boot.